All right, folks, welcome to a little halftime edition of Panthers Playbook for you all. By the way, Chris Lee down there in Tampa Bay. Don't worry, so he's going to get post-game locker room and all that stuff for you. Dennis Cox here with you. Halftime. Again, I want you everyone to leave their thoughts so far on the first half. 13-7 the score right now, and I'm not going to be honest, as is what Jermaine Shepard just said right here on YouTube Live. As Jermaine just said, 4 rushing yards won't cut it. Plain and simple. We actually did see on that last offensive drive for the Carolina Panthers, it looked like they actually started to get somewhat of a rhythm. They started to get somewhat of a rhythm on offense. And then you had the interception by Bryce Young. We'll dive into that here in just a little bit. But as Julian just said right here in our YouTube chat, by the way, thanks everyone for joining us. Panthers Playbook brought to you by Wake Orthopedics. Don't worry, we're going to have another episode for you guys right after the game, so stay locked in. But one thing that, if you want to have some hope, for the second half, Julian, plain and simple, it's only a one-score game. It's only a one-score game. That's the thing. It's a one-score game. One crazy thing, one crazy bounce, that's all you need. One crazy bounce is the only thing you need. I actually did some just keeping a live track of notes and stuff during the game. I'm just going to kind of go through what I said in the first half. With the weather the way that it is, I would not be surprised, would not be shocked. I even tweeted this out at the beginning of the game. I would not be surprised if both teams only have 8 or 9 possessions for the entire game. Now, Tampa Bay had 5 in the first half because the turnover by Bryce Young, which came on the 4th possession. I'm not going to count the kneel down there. I'm not going to count that as a possession. Technically it is. I'm not going to count that. But when you're a Dave Canales looking at this game and the approach of both these teams, at least at the approach at the beginning, especially from Tampa, was ball control. Run the ball, ball control, ball control, ball control. The weather sucks. It's absolute crap out there right now. We can all see it on television. So if you're going to have that ball control mindset, or both teams are going to have that, well, then guess what? It's going to limit the number of possessions that you're going to have as a team. So every time you get the ball, you have to capitalize in some way, shape, or form. Let's not forget, Tampa Bay had to settle for a field goal. They missed a touchdown on their second drive. Could have been 14-0. Instead, it was 10-0. If you're Carolina, you come out to start the ball in this second half. Dave Canales even said to go in the locker room. You got to find the run game. You have to find a run game. Plain and simple. I mean, 7 carries, 5 yards. Okay, Bryce had a kneel down, so really it's 6 carries, 6 yards. It's 6 carries for 6 yards. That ain't going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. Not going to work. And it's not like Tampa Bay's got it's not the 86 Bears out there with their defensive front. It's not even close to what you faced last week in Seattle. Both teams are playing in bad weather conditions. Run game, simply put, has to be better. So yeah, Julian, there's a reason to hope. It's only a one-score game. As iTruth said, need some more outside zone runs. I also wonder as well with the footing, do you trust yourself on an outside zone run? These are all things that weigh through coaches' minds during this time. Michael Green says, I feel like week after week our receivers could just stay home. Well, there's some give and take when it comes to that. Xavier Legette. We didn't have a real conversation about Xavier Legette. On that very first drive, you heard Dan Orlovsky talk about it. When he has that in-breaking route on that long third down, he just got to be sharper, or you just got to be harder with that bend. Pause. He's got to be harder with that bend. I'm just going to go ahead and say it like that. And he's not. Now, Bryce put it in a spot anticipating what he was going to possibly turn in. Again, that's what Orlovsky and Louis Riddick are saying. So it's not there. It doesn't come up with the catch. And then also you saw Tedero McMillan struggle coming up making with the catch either on a ball that isn't perfectly placed either. Again, weather conditions, everything has to be even more accurate on these tight weather conditions because I've played football in this bad weather. I've played lacrosse in this bad weather. Everything just has to be a little bit more precise because you can't anticipate anyone making sort of any sort of play, really. I mean, honestly, the best catch probably today might be in Christian Rosewoom's interception. Those actually might have been the best plays. The best catches today are actually been by defensive players. Plain and simple. Thomas says, any other receiver on the roster would be better than XL. Here's something I will say in the second half. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see in the second half. I'm going to be on the record saying this. In the second half, I want to see 2 tight end personnel the rest of the way. 2 or 3 tight end personnel the rest of the way. Put Tremble out there as your 2 tight ends. Have Jalen Coker, have Tepper, McMillan as your receivers. Go 2 tight ends the rest of the game. Because you're going to keep Tampa Bay in their base personnel, which is fine. You're going to go Tampa Bay, pretty much we're going to stay in their base personnel, and it gives you the option to both run and pass out of that personnel grouping. And what does Bryce Young thrive off of? Play action. Play action. The broadcast has talked about it. We've said it all year long. Play action. And Bryce Young, his best trait, in my eyes, is when he's rolling to his left, especially off play action, bootleg to the left. Dave Canales has constantly talked about wanting to the pass game being built off of play action. So go 2 tight ends the rest of the way. Run the 13 personnel out there that you often did as well. Now, you don't have Jadeveon Sanders, but we've already seen James Mitchell go in there and be the 3rd tight end, Bryson Tremaine as the wide receiver out there, and that's where you have seen this team go heavy with the run. Now, they haven't really done it much today just because of the lack of volume of plays, but to me, 2 tight ends the rest of this game. 2 tight end sets the rest of the way. With Jalen Coker and Tepper McMillan as your wide receivers. If you want to put Jimmy Horn Jr. in there as the 3rd receiver, substituting with those guys, if you want to give it a different look, fine. And just make Xavier Legette a kick returner. Don't put Chuba Hubbard or Rico Dowdle out there alongside ETN to return kicks. Just go ahead and put Xavier Legette out there as a kick returner. That's it. Plain and simple. Like iTruth715 just said, I guess agreeing with me. More 2 tight end sets. That's what they need to have. Plain and simple. Because right now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a stat, actually. This was actually sent to me by somebody. I won't say whom, but someone very, very connected with the Carolina Panthers. Actually sent me this yesterday. In 2025, the lowest passer rating by quarterback to receiver duo in 2025, according to Next Gen Stats. The lowest in the NFL, J.J. McCarthy, the receiver, Justin Jefferson. Lowest passer rating at 40.1. Second lowest passer rating, again, according to Next Gen Stats, quarterback to receiver duo. Second lowest in the NFL, Bryce Young to Xavier Legette. Passer rating of 60.1. Ironically, the 3rd lowest, Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans, 66.9 is the passer rating. So that's where we are right now in terms of that. So there you go. All right. Second half's underway. We're actually, you know what? Hey, look at that. And I said Xavier Legette needs to be back there as a kick returner. Who's back there returning kicks? It's Xavier Legette. Not Dowdle, not Hubbard, Xavier Legette. He should just be that right now. He should just be that right now. He doesn't make enough big plays in the passing game. He just doesn't. He doesn't make contested catches. And on a day like today, where the weather is absolute crap, you need to have your most sure-handed guys out there on the field. You got to have your most sure-handed guys out there on the field. Hey, look at that. They're coming out 2 tight ends, Tepper McMillan, Jalen Coker. The thing I just said 3 minutes ago. There you go. Rico Dowdle, 3.5, 4-yard run. That's what I want to see. Stick with this personnel grouping, and you don't have to substitute, which allows you, if you want to, if you're Dave Canales, you could go no huddle. You don't have to be in a 2-minute drill, but you can go no huddle, and it doesn't allow the defense to substitute. You can do so much out of this personnel. I love 2 tight end sets. I genuinely do. I love 2 tight end sets because now, again, you can flex Tommy Tremble into the slot. Locked in on Coker. That's fine. By the way, Jalen Coker, outstanding dude. Had a chance to talk to him one-on-one several times, see him in the locker room post-game. Absolutely awesome guy. Absolutely awesome guy. They got to convert this 3rd down. You can't go 3 and out to start. You can't go 3 and out and give the ball right back to Tampa. If Tampa takes a 2-possession lead, I don't like Carolina's chances. Gosh, that's a catch, but that's short of the line of game. That's not a good throw. That's not a good throw. Looks like Carolina's going for it. Wow. That's a heck of a catch by Coker. Actually, don't know. Did he drop that? I don't know. There's a bobble. I can't tell if it hit the ground, though. Let's see, yeah, there's a bobble. I think he makes that catch, but wow. Dave going for it. We have to. All right. Finally got a first down there. But that pass by Bryce has to be better. You have to give Coker a chance to actually catch the ball and turn upfield. You have to. By the way, I like the split coming back there from Tommy Tremble on the run play. Defense for Carolina is not playing bad. They've just been out there a ton. See, I like it. That's actually 13 personnel. 3 tight ends. Actually smart by Bryce, dirt the football. This is actually one thing I think I actually asked Dave Canales about this last week after the game about how Jadeveon Sanders' injury actually impacted the offense, because Carolina loves running that 13 personnel. They love to run out of that formation and obviously use play action sometimes out of it with 3 tight ends out there in the field. And Canales just did not have that as at his disposal last week. They used Jake Curran, the backup offensive lineman, but he's not a receiving threat, so you just knew what was coming out of that offensive personnel group. And Bryce got time. It's a good throw, good catch. Yeah, I agree with you. TM24K, Coker better be officially number 2. Yeah, Jalen Coker's the number 2. Look at Jimmy Horn Jr. getting deep. Looks like the rain has let up. So, yeah, 13 personnel, Bryson Tremaine. This is a run-heavy set. I go and play action, though. That is a fumble. That's a fumble. Oh, wow, they said incomplete? Okay, I thought that was a backwards pass. By the way, Chris Lee has said this here on Panthers Playbook before. That is 100% a backwards pass. Can they challenge that? Can that be challenged to the spot of the recovery? I can't remember. I don't think so. I don't know if replay assists. Oh, okay. The official saying backwards pass. So, yeah, it goes to the spot of the recovery. Okay, so, yeah, they are challenging it. That is a backwards pass. By the way, Chris Lee has said this here on Panthers Playbook, and I 100% agree with him. The Panthers have no screen game. They can't run a screen to save their lives. They can't. So oftentimes you see with teams wanting to do, when it comes to the screen game, when there's a lot of pressure, teams are blitzing heavy, whatever it might be, you can run a screen game just to kind of keep them honest. Carolina doesn't have that. I don't know if that's just a byproduct of the lack of size from Bryce Young and trying to be able to throw over top of defensive linemen, but it's just not there. They just don't have one. Even if they try to go wide receiver screens, it's just not there. By the way, I'm going to stay with you guys all the way through this offensive drive here for Carolina. They have to get points here. Even if it's a field goal, just get points. Obviously, you want 6, but just get points. This is just ugly right now. See that backwards passing here. Hitting a 3rd and 16. Yeah, if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm taking that all day. That's a long-ass field goal. Yeah, 4th and 12. You're not going for it on 4th and 12. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm not even trying to block this thing. Because I don't want to risk running into the kicker, roughing the kicker. I don't want to risk any of that stuff. Do I even try to block this thing? 54 yards in bad weather. Hooked it. Yep. Nope. Exactly. Jeez. How y'all feel about seeing Seattle again first round or San Francisco? Granted, you win today. Bryce Young's upset at the official for something. I don't know what he's arguing about. I mean, catches it clean. Oh, yeah, I see a little slip. A little slip there on the kick. You know what it is. 2-11-32. How y'all feel about seeing Seattle again first round or San Francisco? Granted, you win today. Or Atlanta. There's always Atlanta. How do I feel about it? Not good. Not good at all. Because the one thing about San Francisco is they've gotten healthier as the season's gone along. I don't know what the status is going to be of George Kittle. I'm not even sure if he's playing today. I know Ricky Pearsall is questionable later on tonight. But I don't feel good about going up against Kyle Shanahan. I don't feel good about going up against Kyle Shanahan. I don't feel good about going up against Seattle's defense again. I don't feel good. Don't feel good about this. This is it's not good. It's not good. And this is also great field positioning for Tampa, by the way. You're getting the ball close to midfield. Not good. So right now, if you look at overall team stats right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have run 40 plays. Carolina has run just 27. Time of possession heavily in Tampa Bay's favor at 21 minutes and 44 seconds to 12:49 for Carolina. This is going to continue to wear down the defense of Carolina. By the way, Tampa Bay, 6 of 9 on third down conversions. 6 of 9. Carolina, one of the things that they have struggled with this season, cannot deny it. They are 31st in the NFL defensively in a third down conversion percentage rate. 31st in the NFL defensively in third downs. 31st. Capped RR. So we got bad Bryce today, huh? Yeah, it's not good Bryce. No. It's not good Bryce. As Pitbull says, maybe we should just tell. Maybe this game should have been played in Atlanta. See, but this strong run here by Bucky Irving right there from the start, this is going to continue to wear down the defense for Carolina because they're not good on third downs. They're simply not. Baker Mayfield's killing them, scrambling. It's not good. You know what it is, says you got to feel good about Baker giving you guys another turnover, keep the hope alive. Chris and I actually talked about this. On the episode that came out on Wednesday. It's like, Baker's going to turn the ball over at least once. I will say, though, you got to give Carolina credit. They actually did score a touchdown on that. Oh, nice. Trayvon Merritt gets in there for a sack. Gosh, they needed that. But Baker Mayfield will turn the ball over, and I will give Carolina credit. They scored a touchdown off of it. They did, which is something we have not seen. Like last week against Seattle, only got 3 points off 2 turnovers. Against San Francisco, you only got 3 points off of 3 turnovers. But yeah, like Scripture Soundscape said, Carolina needs to get to 20. Plain and simple, they need to get to 20. They are 6-1 this season when they score 20 points. 6-1. Their only loss came week 2 against Arizona when they were trying to come back in that game. They scored 22 in that one. If you're Tampa Bay, do you go for this? 4th and 2 midfield, do you go for this if you're Tampa? I'd be tempted to go. Because if you get points in this game, as bad as Carolina's offense is playing, as bad as they've been playing, if you can make this a 2-possession game, I like the decision here by Tampa to go for it. I mean, if I'm Tampa, I like this decision. Your season's on the line. Tampa has to win this game. Can you get a stop? Ooh, almost Roseman almost jumped. Oh, they try to just draw him off. Man, they almost worked. Took the delay game. All right, Carolina, you got the stop. You got the stop. Yeah, Roseman, whoo. Almost got him. I could also see what Todd Bowles might be thinking here in terms of their offense isn't moving Carolina. So you know what? Pin them deep. Try to make them go the length of the field. I will say this, in a one-possession game, though, all it takes is one guy to slip, literally, and you got something big going down the field against you. Yeah, Carolina boys. Yeah, Bryce, after that last possession, was yelling something to the referees. I'm not entirely sure what was about. I'm a television muted right now, so I'm not entirely sure. Might hit up Chris Lee, who's actually out there, just to see what he was yelling about. But man, by the way, Scott Hughes, yeah, Atlanta, the only team between the three that acts like they actually want to make the playoff. It's interesting because Atlanta, of the three teams, might be playing the best over the last few weeks. Maybe. I mean, that's just, the bar is so low in the NFC South. The bar is so low. But honestly, we are staring at a situation where Tampa Bay and Atlanta are going to be, Tampa Bay and Carolina are going to be watching Atlanta, New Orleans, rooting for a division rival to win in order to make the playoffs. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. By the way, Carolina's offense this season, as I mentioned, they're 6-1 in games where they score 20-plus points. 6-1. 2-7 in games where they score less than 20. 2-7 where they score less than 20. Their only two wins, 13-6 at the Jets, 16-13 at Green Bay. That's it. That's it. And that Green Bay game was the one where Rico Dowdle popped off, had 150 yards rushing. Bryce Young, that was his first game back from the ankle injury, which he suffered against the Jets. But this team hasn't put together back-to-back 20-plus point games since weeks 5 and 6. Broke Wookie says, what has happened to the offensive line run protection? They've gone from one of the best run protecting units to the worst. That's a great question. That really is a phenomenal question because this offensive line, heck, we even saw it a couple of weeks ago against Tampa Bay, and there was no Ike Ekwonu in that game. Against Tampa Bay at home, Yosh Nijman. I thought they actually ran the ball decently in that game. But you have on the offensive line, again, guys are dealing with injuries. Ike Ekwonu recently missing a game because of a knee injury that he hurt in the Saints game. But you have your starting left tackle, your starting left guard, the guy who should have been the starter at the beginning of the season, and Cade Mays starting at center. You have Austin Corbett, who was your starting center, but he's mostly been a guard throughout his career, starting in place of Robert Hunt. And you have Taylor Moton. So you have 4 of your 5 starters on your offensive line. On offense, the only starter that you are missing right now on offense, I guess you could say Jadeveon Sanders now, but really is Robert Hunt. I mean, Jadeveon Sanders being part of a 3-man rotation among the tight ends, gosh, going nowhere. I don't get why this offensive line just ain't moving. It's not. And it's not like Tampa Bay are killers on defense anyway. If you look at Tampa Bay, I'll go and pull up some of their numbers for them this season overall. By the way, a Tampa Bay team that's only won one of its last 8 games. Defensively this year, they allow yards per carry, 4.4 yards per carry. That's 20th in the NFL. 20th in the NFL, 4.4 yards per carry. 20th. See, now you're putting yourself in a position, spreading it 5 wide. Did Chuba actually hold on to that? Yeah, I guess he did. No flag down, though. If this is a hold in the end zone? Oh, they actually called on the defense. That's a break. Oh, that's a drop, too. That's a break. By the way, I know I'm sticking around here way longer than I intended to, but that's totally fine. I appreciate you all tapping in and watching with us. You know what it is. So, yeah, at some point you might need to leave it all on the field and do a fake punt or something. Leave no regrets. A trick play may need to come out. Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. You cannot rely, if you're Carolina, you cannot rely on Atlanta to do your dirty work for you. I know they're the dirty birds, but you cannot rely on Atlanta to do your dirty work for you. Hope is not a strategy. You have to go try and win this game. Hope is not a strategy. By the way, scripture, yeah, that's not hating. An observation is not hating. Stats are not hating. Also, by the way, Tommy Tremble, another great dude in the locker room. I've had a chance to talk to him one-on-one multiple times. Just another good dude. Is that their longest run of the game so far? What, 5 yards? I think also one thing as well about these bad weather games, about Bryce Young. And these bad weather games, it's not like he has the biggest hands, not like he has the strongest arm. So you're trying to throw in bad weather, it gets exposed. It gets exposed. Oh, Tommy Tremble got his helmet thrown off. No penalty? By the way, it's not just the small hand. Well, small hands play a factor into it, but yeah, that should be a penalty on Tampa Bay easily. That's got to be illegal hands to the face. How do you miss that call? Like seriously, as an official, how does his helmet end up at the 12-yard line? But also with the small hands and just the lack of arm strength, you have to be able to spin the ball through bad weather. That's a nice catch. So even that had like a little bit of a tail on it. But yeah, T-Mac needed to make that catch. I think that the rain has slowed down because you're seeing guys wearing gloves again. That's a way to fight through contact on the route. Way to high point that. Oh, what's the flag? Is this coming back? Oh, they calling interference on the push off on the route? Okay, yeah. All right. That's killer. Let's see, how much does he extend? Oh, yeah, he extends the arm completely. When I was coaching college lacrosse, when I was at Carthage College, my office was next. It was in the same hallway as all the football coaches, and the wide receiver coach who played at Indiana used to teach me some of the techniques and stuff that he would use when he was actually getting off the line of scrimmage, and also just to create separation on routes about not extending the arm completely. Because the reason why I was asking him that is how ways for my players when you're trying to cradle with a lacrosse stick in your hands, because you can't ward off like with a free hand, but okay, how do you create separation? So I was actually getting some techniques and stuff from him about and teaching my players about how to use your elbow while and things along those lines in your shoulder to create separation and that kind of stuff. So seeing that push off makes complete sense why it's a okay. 3 guys stacked up on the right side. This might be that trick. Nope. Okay. Oh, this offense is putrid right now. By the way, Scripture, I agree with you. You can rip a helmet off with no penalty, I guess. Yeah, that should have been a penalty easily. Easily should have been a penalty. That one's missed. It's a bad call. I agree with you, Eddie. That's a terrible call. I will say that here's the thing I will say. They completely missed that call on Tommy Tremble getting his helmet thrown off, but that is a pass interference call against T-Mac. It sucks. I will say this, though, as someone who used to coach, I'll only complain about the refs so much. I'll only complain about them so much, but that was bad. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Illegal hands to the face. Absolutely. That should have been an easy first down call. Or even just, post game, just personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah. All right, Carolina boys, 31-68. I'm actually, I want to dive into what you're saying right here. If we play like this, I don't want us to make the playoffs. We have no shot. I completely understand that. You want to make the playoffs. Here's something long term. Here's something to keep out. Scott, I see your question. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. Here's something I want to think about long term when it goes in the offseason. If Carolina makes the playoffs versus they don't. Because sometimes I think when you make the playoffs, you may think that you're closer than what you actually are. Because there's still as much progress as his team has made. And Chris and I said it back on Wednesday that overall, even if they'd missed the playoffs, it's still a successful season for Carolina with the progress that they made. But there are so many inconsistencies with this team, though, is that it makes you wonder that if you do miss the playoffs, is that really going to force you to make changes where if you make the playoffs, you kind of get yourself a little bit of, like, I don't know, a lack of a better term, you think you're better than what you are? That this is still an average team. I mean, they're a 500 team. They're an average team, if that. Playoffs at 9-8. What the heck? It might be playoffs at 8-9. All right, Scott, to answer your question, Scott Hughes says, Dennis, do you think that Canales should give the play calling to someone else, or do you think another year under his belt would make a difference? Here's the thing, Scott, about that. The way that this coaching staff is structured for this season, it was structured in the sense that there is no one else out there on the team that can call plays. Brad Idzik has never called plays before. Never has. So the way this roster, this offense is built, the coaching staff is built, is that Dave Canales is the only one that can call plays. Now, on the defensive side of things, you do have your defensive line coach. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. Used to be the defensive coordinator with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Actually, the year when they went to the AFC Championship game, or the Blake Bortles and all that stuff, he actually runs a 4-3 under defense, which actually I think Carolina's personnel actually fits well for that because, in my eyes, I think Trevin Wallace would be a good 4-3 weak side linebacker. That's my opinion. Different conversation another time. But it was built in on defense to have a different play caller. Now, Ejiro Evero's contract is up after this season, so they can easily just make a change. Don't have to worry about firing the guy. Just, hey, your contract's up. Go find something else. If Dave Canales turns over the play calling to another person, he would then have to hire a different offensive coordinator. And here's the thing. He and Brad Idzik are boys. Remember, Brad Idzik was his wide receivers coach in Tampa a couple years ago. He brought him over with him from Seattle when he got the offensive coordinator job. So he brought Brad Idzik with him. He was his receivers coach. Okay? Now he gets the head coaching job. He brings Idzik with him. So maybe that will require you either having to demote him or completely fire him in general. I don't see Dave Canales doing that. Here's something to keep in mind as well, though. Remember Nick Sirianni took over as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles a few years ago, and he was actually the play caller as well. And what he actually ended up doing was he actually gave up that play calling duties to other people. We've seen guys like Shane Steichen and some others come through there. He gave up the play calling duties to focus on just being a head coach. And sure enough, they've gone to 2 Super Bowls recently and won one. Imagine that. I would like to see Canales potentially do that. But here's the question, the long-term question when it comes to Canales and being the offensive coordinator. Does he have the quarterback that he actually wants? I think that answer is no. So if Dave Canales has the quarterback that he wants, maybe he actually can run the offense that he wants. Because the limitations of Bryce Young is going to limit your offense as a whole. The area of the field where this team struggles in the passing game is the intermediate 10 to 19 yards downfield. They're well below league average. The only game that they actually excelled throwing the ball 10 to 19 yards downfield, if I remember correctly, Bryce Young, he was 9 of 13 against Atlanta at Atlanta. He was 9 of 13 passing in that area, 10 to 19 yards downfield. Again, that's where the target was. Obviously, there's catch and run, yards after the catch, all that stuff. Oh, got to make a sack there. Oh, wow, that ball hit Nick Scott right in the back. I got a flag coming in, though. But that's the thing. That is something to keep in mind as well. Cap says the problem I see is how do you get a quarterback that you want. Let's be honest, Bryce's trade value is all over the place, and you will pay a fortune in free agency for a decent quarterback. That's a great point. Getting the quarterback that you want, that's going to cost you a lot. His trade value, Bryce Young's trade value is, would you give a second-round pick for him? You're not going to give up a first. Like, would you give up a first-round pick for Bryce Young right now? I don't see that happening. And there's nothing really good. I mean, Malik Willis is going to be the hot commodity. Malik Willis is going to be the hot commodity this offseason from Green Bay in terms of the quarterbacks and free agency. And then obviously if you want to go get Mac Jones, he's still under contract next year from San Francisco if you want to try and trade for him. But I don't see the quarterback, the QB room the quarterback possibilities this offseason are, I don't want to see, no, thank you. Even from the draft, I don't see it. And also, if you want to try and draft a quarterback in the first round, Carolina's going to be picking, 18, 19, somewhere in that range. You're not going to get a good quarterback probably to fall to you. I mean, we're going to, a Kenny Pickett situation where he fell to 20 to Pittsburgh a few years ago, and he was the first quarterback off the board. You're likely not going to get that. So you might be in a situation where Bryce Young is your bridge quarterback next year. That's just the reality of it. The reality of it. Pitbull says, why is it raining and Rico only has 6 carries? Great question. The reason why he only has 6 carries right now, Pitbull, is the fact that they haven't been able to sustain any drives. Have you looked at the third down conversions so far? The third down conversions, they're 0 for 6. They're 0 for 6 on third down. 0 for 6. Granted, they did convert a fourth down, 1 of 1 on that, but you're not sustaining any sort of drive. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to run the ball more if you can't convert third downs into first down. You're punting the ball away. Obviously, you had the 1 interception as well, but, man, it's terrible. You're welcome, Scott, by the way. Purple Beard says Bryce hasn't shown enough to get wanted by anyone as the number 1. That's true. That's true. Here's the thing about with when it comes to Bryce. His work ethic is there. He's great character. He's not a dumb guy. Like, I think genuinely, like, he understands the game. Like, it's none of that's ever a question. Never has been a question. It's just the physical limitations. It's simply what it is. The arm strength isn't elite. He's got good mobility, but it's not over the top compared to anyone else across the league. You see plenty of guys. With that. But overall, he doesn't have an elite arm, doesn't have elite size, doesn't have elite speed running. Again, I say his best physical trait is when he rolls out to his left. He throws the ball rolling out to his left as good as anybody, to be honest. Like, he really is good at that. But overall, he just doesn't have it. I have to go back and look on this stat when it comes to Bryce Young. I know I did it a couple of games ago. I think it was actually against Tampa Bay. The win against Tampa Bay was the 5th time in his career where the Panthers won a game where he threw the ball 30 or more times. 5-20 in his career when he's had to throw the ball 30 or more times. 5-20. I think this year it's 3-4. But when he's under 30 passing attempts in a game, it's more closer to around 500 or maybe slightly above 500. At least this season it is. But in his career, 5-20 when throwing the ball 30 or more times in a game is Bryce Young. So when you're down in a game, because where does he excel? Play action, bootlegs, those kinds of things. If you don't have that at your disposal, then what are you? But also I ask you this as well. How well can you sustain that? Field goal, money. Nailed that one. Now I don't have faith in this Panthers offense to come back from down 9 in the fourth quarter. Because if you're Dave Canales, you're anticipating that you'll get the ball right here after this kickoff, and you have to anticipate that you may get the ball back only one more time. You have to think, if you're Dave Canales, that you only have 2 possessions left in this game. For real, that you only have 2 possessions left in this game. That's something you have to keep in mind going if you're Dave Canales. Because you know if Tampa Bay gets the ball back, they're going to just continue to just ball control, milk the clock. Panthers have to get points on this drive. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. This one comes from Landon Gentry official. Hey, sorry, I saw you. You're live on Twitter. What did you think of the call on McMillan? Anytime. So this is what I've been taught. Again, it's from college coaches and people I know. Is that if you as an offensive wide receiver, it's the full extension of the arm that gets you. What you see actually the really good receivers sometimes do is that when they get separations, that they'll throw the elbow, but they don't fully extend the arm. It's the full arm extension is where you're going to get called. So that's what I think of the official saw, is that you saw the initial swat down of the hands, which I think is really good. Don't let the defensive back to get his hands into your chest. You saw the swat down on the hands, but then you saw the full extension. That's going to get you called. Plain and simple. As ZP Zephi Drummer, I'm going to go with that, said, these calls are very biased. This needs to be investigated in some form or fashion. Look, officiating can be bad, but officiating ain't the reason why they're losing this game. Simple as that. It ain't the reason why they're losing this game. All right? It's not. It's not the reason why you're losing this game. The reason why you're losing this game is that you only have 136 yards of offense, and it's the fourth quarter. That's the reason why you're losing this game. The reason why you're losing this game is because your yards per attempt is 1.5. Rushing. That's the reason why you're losing this game. That's it. Plain and simple. Dwayne Kelly, 4670. Bryce Young, along with the bad play calling by the head coach, have no answer. This team is easy to read. All they do is check down for either 1 or 2 yards. Yeah, it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. I'm sorry. You guys got to stop with the scripted refs and all that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. You guys got to stop that. Like, it's just, the officiating has not been great. Do not get me wrong. It's not been great. But the interception, as James put it out, doesn't help. You're running for only 1.5 yards. Sorry. Like, that's the reason why you're down in this game, not just because of the officials. Let's be honest. The officials did not throw the interception late there in the first half. The officials did not throw in an accurate pass. As scripture just says, now is the time for an explosive play that you and Chris emphasize on your show. Yes. Yes, some sort of explosive play has to happen. They need something here. They need a big game. They need it. That's the one thing this Carolina Panthers offense lacks. And again, it could be play calling, could be quarterback, and the combination thereof. There's multitude of factors into this. But this team does not string together chunk plays. Wow, that's the best screen game. See, there's a chunk play. You know what? That's the best screenplay we've seen in 2 years under Dave Canales. This is the best screenplay we've seen in 2 years under Dave Canales. But something that this team struggles with so badly. By the way, my fiance is up here just sitting next to me being all quiet. Yeah, there she is. There's thumbs up. She's born and raised in the Charlotte area. All right, RPO. Hey, look at that. Xavier Legette. By the way, Xavier Legette can only make catches against his body. By the way, Rico, congratulations. Get that paper, man. $1 million for hitting 1,350 yards from scrimmage this year. Get that money, man. Congrats to you. By the way, I don't think Rico will be back with the team next season. It stinks, but I don't think he'll be back with the team next season. One thing with Bryce with his lack of size is that if you get pressure on him, he can't stand in the pocket and throw in the pressure. It's just a simple lack of size. Like you see guys like Justin Herbert and some of these other guys that can handle that pressure. He doesn't have the arm strength to throw around it. Hey, XL. Ooh, that looked like it hurt. One thing I would like to see call for Xavier Legette is just underneath crossing routes where he can just catch and run. Like, tight end clears out, Jalen Coker or whomever in the slot, whatever, clears out deep. Just and have Xavier Legette on a drag route underneath where he can just catch the ball and just run. Don't ask him to be a nuanced route runner or any of those kinds of things. Don't ask him to try and pluck contested catches. Oh, flea flicker. Oh, gosh, jump on that football. Jump on the ball. Oh, gosh. Anyone else have a Cam Newton flashback? How do you not dive on that ball? gosh, that's got to be game right there. I know there's 11:07 left, but you just took points off the board. Like, dude, just jump on the ball. I know you're trying to pick the ball up and trying to look down. Just jump on the ball. Also, like, gosh, just jump on the ball. All right. Also, I'm going to bring this up here right now while there's a commercial break. The weather sucks. I know the rain's probably slowed down and everything, but it's still pretty wet out there. It's visible. Why are you going to do a flea flicker as the play? Why are you going to do the flea flicker as the play? That means the ball has to exchange hands more than just once, than just a handoff or a pass. It's got to be handed off, tossed back, and then thrown again. In bad weather? Like, I'm sorry. This is not a playoff team. Why would you call a flea flicker right there? And also, Bryce, just in that situation, just jump on the ball. Jump on the ball. Oh, my gosh. I cannot wait to talk with Chris Lee about this one on Panthers Playbook. By the way, thank you, everyone that's watching right now. Shout out to each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. Appreciate you all tuning in, watching, and all that kind of stuff. We actually get to watch this stuff live together. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Shout out to Wake Orthopedics, the sponsor of Panthers Playbook. Shout out to them. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you all. But, ugh. That's bad. It's bad. Honestly, that was the best drive they'd had up to that point. That was their best drive. Let's go through the play-by-play here. That was 6 plays, 36 yards on that drive. 6 plays, 36 yards. That was the best drive that they had all game. Other than, they had the 10-play drive that went 29 yards where they missed the field goal, which was crucial. But honestly, that was probably the best drive that they had all game. That's backbreaker. If I'm Tampa Bay, I'm just turning and handing the ball off right here. Bucky Irving, Rachaad White, steady dose of those two. That's just all right. So they're showing the replay of the flea flicker right now. It's just like jump on the ball, man. That's not the time to try and go like make a play when the ball is loose on the ground. Just jump on it. Jump on it. By the way, B. Kroger, don't break your television. Don't break your television. Wait, Scripture, Soundscape. I would love to do this every game. I know for the home games, Chris and I go to Bank of America Stadium. Wide open. Chris and I go to Bank of America Stadium for the home games. So one thing that we want to make sure that we do is actually we want to be consistent with the content and stuff that we do. Because of home games, if we're not able to do it, then road games, we kind of can't. I'm not entirely sure. But I would like to do these things a little bit more, these watch-alongs and things along those lines, because we really enjoy interacting with you all. It's something that we definitely enjoy. I know our opinions aren't always the most popular. Our opinions aren't always agreed upon by everyone, but that's totally okay. That's the reason why we have a community. We want to have a community where everyone can voice their opinion, share their thoughts, share their fandom. That's what we want everyone to be a part of, and we appreciate you being part of that with us, and we want to be part of that with you all as well. James said, wasted a good defense. I mean, defense playing well today. Defense for Carolina has played well today. Honestly, I thought they played pretty well last week against Seattle when you look at the grand scheme of things. Yes, there were a couple of missed tackles. For example, I know DJ Wana missed a tackle that led to a field goal eventually on Zach Charbonnet. I know after Bryce Young's interception, Claude Cherylus missed a tackle that on a third down that extended a drive, and they scored a touchdown. But Seattle scored 3 touchdowns last week, all after turnovers by Carolina. You had the fumble by Chuba, you had the interception by Bryce, and you had a turnover on downs late in the fourth quarter. And that's how Seattle got their 3 touchdowns, was simply off that. They started in plus territory, like basically on the fringes of the red zone every single time. That's the reason why Seattle got their 3 touchdowns last week. So the defense has been playing 5. There's still another level for the defense to get to, but after the 2024 Panthers defense, this is like night and day. But it's still overall an average defense in the grand scheme of things when you look at it. Actually, the area where they've improved the most is actually in turnovers, especially in terms of interceptions. Their interception percentage is actually one of the best in the NFL right now. So they're actually, let me actually go back and look. I want to make sure I do not get this wrong. That's not what I wanted. They are, in terms of interception percentage, they're actually 8th best in the NFL, 2.89%. So 8th best in the NFL in terms of interception percentage, which is good. Their third down percentage, though, as a defense, terrible, 31st in the NFL. They're still bad at getting sacks. Their sack percentage is just 26th in the NFL. Look at that. Oh, gosh. This is the byproduct right now of a worn-down defense. The lack of offensive continuity in terms of just the lack of offensive execution. This is a byproduct of that right here. Just defense has been out there just for way too long. Way too long. Scott says, let's see the fiance. Let's interview her. How'd you guys meet? What does she love about you? And so on. She loves me for my beard. She also loves the fact that she's sitting right here next to me laughing right now. She loves the fact that I cook. I enjoy cooking. I love to cook. There's a reason why I had to lose over 40 pounds, but and still need to lose more. It's because I enjoy cooking. And we met online because it's the modern era. So yeah, I feed her. That's the reason why she loves me. She keeps me around. What's that? So the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach. Yeah. She said the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach. It's true. Men, it's okay to cook. It's fine. I've actually been making a homemade tomato sauce. I've been kind of perfecting over the last couple months. Turns out fantastic. Tom, the Panthers fan, says, I feel bad you cover the Panthers for a living. They are trash. They're not trash this season. All right. I mean, they are 8-8 right now, staring at 8-9. But I will say this, though, as a media member, as someone who covers the team or talks about the team and all that stuff, the Panthers this season have at least been interesting. You cannot deny that. I said this a couple of weeks ago, actually, after they beat the Rams. And I said, I don't know if this is a good team or not. I genuinely don't know if they're a good team or not. But they are interesting. They are interesting because you just don't know what to expect week to week. And heck, even with the result of this game, the way things are going right now, they still might make the playoffs. They still might make the playoffs. It's so sad. Yeah, this defense is just worn out. They are just worn out. Dennis, do you think we would have a better record this year if Saints quarterback Tyler Shuck was our quarterback? Tyler Shuck has the physical skill. I mean, seen him play a couple times. I know the Bank of America Stadium game was his second start, but the guy just simply has the physical stature. Like, he can make all the throws and stuff. The biggest thing for him is he was just so injured throughout his collegiate career, and he was in college for 7 years, I think is what it was. He's darn near as old as Chris Winkie. Look at Baker just scrambling, and he still completed that. Wow, it's a 4th down, but the fact that he makes that catch, that's impressive. Give credit where it's due. Holy hell. Did he actually keep his feet in bounds? I don't know if that left foot's on the line or not. This would be better from the rear angle. Yeah, I think he's in. Let's see. All right, they got the pylon cam. I think that's out of bounds, which is actually what you want for your Carolina because you want that clock to stop. But Canales, you going to throw a challenge flag? All right, there you go. If they had Tyler Shuck, I don't know. That's a good question But Tyler Shuck has all the physical skills. Scripture brings up a great point. This is something Chris and I talked about last week. Panthers have had opportunity after opportunity to clinch the division. We could have just beaten the Saints. Yes, this Panthers team has had three chances, including today, to have wrapped up the division. Had they beat the Saints in New Orleans, coming off their bye week after having just beat the Rams, had they done that and beat Tampa like you did 2 weeks ago, you could be sitting there going, we could just rest starters. Who cares? We could just rest starters if you want to. Like, who cares if we're the 3rd seed or the 4th seed? We could just rest starters. Sunday against Seattle wouldn't have mattered. Okay, all right, so that wasn't the case. You didn't beat the Saints. You beat the Bucs. Okay, cool. Now you have a home game against Seattle. And yet the full Baker Mayfield experience, but I'm sorry, not the full Baker Mayfield, the full Sam Darnold experience on the first 3 plays of the game. For at least first 3 offensive snaps for Seattle. You have the full Sam Darnold experience. Rolls to his left, ball gets tipped by DJ Wanham, goes right through the hands of J.C. Horn. Man, that should have been picked. Second pass play, throws the one over the middle into dangerous territory, falls incomplete. You're like, that didn't look good. And then on the 3rd down play, throws a beautiful route to Jackson Smith and Jigba for like 13 yards. You're like, man, what a hell of a throw. You get the full experience. And you're 3 plays in for Seattle. And it's not like Seattle's offense lit it up. Sam Darnold didn't play great. They just capitalized on 2 turnovers. They got 14 points off 2 turnovers. Panthers got 3. So that was your second opportunity to win the division, and you didn't capitalize on that. And then now you're looking at today. We got this. You got this. Crazier things can happen. I'm not going to say it's completely over. Clock hasn't hit 0 yet, but man, it's just... You've had 3 chances to win the division. This is something that this team is going to have to learn. How do you handle success and expectation? That's the thing. How do you handle success and expectation? How do you do it? How do you handle success and expectation? Oh, gosh, that's close. By the way, Dave Canales needed to throw that challenge. Oh, actually, they did say incomplete. Okay, that's good. Because, all right, so the clock then goes back to 5:18. So the clock stops. That's the biggest thing. Oh, they blocked it. Oh, gosh, they needed that. Yeah, don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. Don't touch it. Is that Cam Jackson? Okay, rookie. Yeah, the way Cam Jackson was reacting looked like he's the one that got it. Let's see here. Nice. Well done, Cam Jackson. I think Cam Jackson actually does have a decent upside as a rotational defensive player. As a rotational defensive lineman, I think he's got good upside. All right, 5:12, 3 timeouts. If you are automatically in 2-minute drill, you are in 2-minute drill, 2-minute drill, 2-minute drill, 2-minute drill. Plain and simple. You are in 2-minute drill. All right, line up and go. I'm sorry, if they huddle, they better not huddle. Okay, good. Good Lord, about to say. Dude, you can't. You're. As my fiance just said, you're wasting time. She nailed it. Good catch by Tremble. Well, that's a late hit. No? All right, dude. Like, I understand that you made a good catch for first down and all that stuff. Don't be pointing right now. Like, you're down 16-7. It's a good catch and stuff, but at least the clock stopped. At least you got that. Oh, blitz coming. Oh, screen. Not there. No, like you don't need. No. No. Screen? Come on, Canales. Come on. Tampa was all over that. Tampa was all over it. Diaby's right there. Vita Vea. Gosh, Vita Vea is a massive human being. A screen? No, you need chunk plays. Chunk plays downfield. And Bryce had to throw it away. Nice here, 3rd and 15. All right, someone said rally caps as I knocked my light off. Yeah, James, I agree with you. That should have been a late hit.
Doesn't it need to be upside down for rally?
My fiance said, doesn't the hat need to be upside down? I can't ruin the little brother hat. Come on now. Put some respect on some little brother here. Bryson Tremaine gets underneath. All right, 4th down. Here's your game right here. Here's your game right here. Like that. Sorry, that screenplay was just. I don't agree with that. Like, you need chunk plays downfield. Clock's ticking. Throwing off the back foot, throwing it up. Oh, nice catch. I don't know how Tampa lets him get behind, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Strike now, man. Strike now. Line up, man. Line up. Oh, nice move. Nice move. Underthrown a little bit, but you'll take it. I'm smart. Throw it away. Oh, what a catch. What a catch. My fiance's going nuts over here. What a catch. What a catch by Coker. Like, that's a tough contested catch. Jalen Coker has the best hands on this team. Like, he's the most reliable pass catcher. Rain still coming down. That's a clean catch, too. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Gave yourself a chance. You blocked the field goal. Gave yourself a chance. All right. Now you got to get back on your defense. Now you got to trust your defense to get a stop here. Honestly, heck, you might as well go for the onside kick. You might as well. You might as well go for the onside kick. Yeah, I got to keep the cap on. Clearly, that's the rally cap. The little brother hat on. Joseph said, why give us hope? That's what this Panthers team's doing, man. That's what they're doing. Why give us hope? It's what they do. It's what they do. Yeah, that rain is coming back down again. Cap said, yeah. So that cap to your head, it's working. Might have to. Might have to. Can they go for the onside? I mean, honestly, might have to. Gosh, that rain is brutal right now. All right, not going for the onside. All right. All right. Get 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Jalen Coker's so good. What a heck of a find. What a heck of a find. Honestly, the Jalen Coker undrafted free agent find by Dan Morgan alleviates a lot of the Xavier Legette. Oh yeah, James, it's coming down hard. And Scripture actually brings up a good point. Hope that early missed field goal doesn't mess with Fitzpatrick's head if he gets another opportunity. Honestly, that missed field goal, I mean, granted, both teams have missed, one from block, one because of a slip, but you hope that doesn't come back and bite you right now. One thing you got to watch out for here if you are, yes, James Coker definitely should be the number 2. One thing you have to make sure for here if you are Carolina, gosh, 7-2 in 1-score games. If you're Carolina, especially if it's third down, watch out for the play action and a rollout, and you just see Cade Otton leaking out. I'm telling you, I don't know why my gut is telling me play action's coming right here. Play action. Baker Mayfield scrambles to his right. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that coming right here. By the way, we're going to have a Panthers playbook for you all. We'll post it later on tonight. Chris Lee's down there in Tampa with WRAL. So hopefully be able to get some stuff from the locker room, potentially even all that. But we'll have an episode for you guys tonight breaking all this down. See, there's the play action. I called it. There it is. To Cade Otton. What did I say? What did I say? Do not be shocked on third down to see play action to Cade Otton. What did I say? Did I not say that? I said that. I said watch play action to Cade Otton leaking out on third down. If I can say that sitting on my couch, how can the Panthers not expect it either? My goodness. So you get one stop of the clock. That's it. TM24K, looking at our first consecutive losses since weeks 1 and 2, I think that's a positive. That is a positive. You also haven't won consecutive games since weeks 5 and 6. Or I guess, I'm sorry, you won 3 straight weeks 5, 6, and 7. You haven't won consecutive games since then either. But man, missed opportunities in this one. I said it. Play action. I said it. It's on record. I said it. Don't be shocked. Third down. I said that after the first down carry. Don't be shocked on third down. Play action. Roll to his right. Check down to Cade Otton. I said that after first down. Ah. I'm going to clip this and post it to the podcast just, to have. Timestamp on it. Ugh. All right. Here's what everyone needs to do. Carolina is going to lose this game. Do it right now. I need you to do it right now. Place your order for tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Everyone's getting lemon pepper wings. Shout out to Lou Williams, Atlanta. You're only allowed to listen to Jeezy. You're only allowed to listen to Ludacris and Outkast. Okay? That's the only thing you're allowed to listen to for the next 17 hours. Okay? You're only allowed to do that. Also, book a flight through Delta. You have to book a flight through Delta. You're flying through Atlanta. Even if you're flying to Atlanta, you got to connect in Atlanta. Make it so you connect in Atlanta, go to somewhere else, and then you land back in Atlanta. You got to go through that. All right? Lemon pepper wings, Jeezy, Outkast, Ludacris, book a flight through Delta. That's the only thing you're allowed to do. Two Chainz is also acceptable. All right, so here's your last stop of the clock. DJ Wanham, don't get into a shoving match here. Hey, capped RR, I understand, but you got to do what you got to do. If you want Atlanta to win, you got to fly through Delta. Okay? You got to fly Delta, connect in Atlanta. Yes, I did call. If the Panthers scored 20, they would have won. Yes, exactly. Oh. I can't believe the season is going to come down to freaking Atlanta, New Orleans. Honey, we're getting lemon pepper wings for tomorrow, okay? All right, for Lou Williams. If they get a first down here, it's game. Do they dare go play action again? I don't think they do. If Baker Mayfield doesn't have it, he just slides down. All right, you got a chance here. You got a chance. Dirty Birds are going to send us packing just for spite. I would not be shocked. Would not be shocked. I think Tampa's going to call a timeout here. All right, so you're looking at the clock, 1:11. This next play, let's say it takes, I'll just say 6 seconds. So it takes you down to 1:05. Clock then runs down again to, because you're going to run 40 seconds off of the play clock. It's going to take you down to 25 seconds if you get a stop here. I will probably try and draw them off sides or something along those lines. But if you do punt the ball away, you're looking at 18 seconds to try and get a field goal. 18. Oh, this is brutal. All right, so clock stops. All right, 1:05, there it is. Okay, so the clock's going to get down to 25 seconds. I mean, if I'm Tampa, I'm going to try and draw them off sides because why not? I mean, heck, if you're Tampa, you can just go try and win the game right here. What are we looking at, 4th and 2, 4th and 3? 4th and 4? Maybe they don't do it. Do you trust going for a field goal here with McLaughlin? Because if you miss that kick, now you're looking at Carolina getting ball close to midfield. Yeah, they're going to try and jump them off sides here. Don't jump. Timeout. Yeah, 25 seconds. Oh, they actually called delay a game. All right. All right, so you punt the ball here, 24 seconds. Let's not forget, Fitzgerald did slip on the one field goal earlier. I mean, if ETN or whomever is back there, it's fair catch right away. It's fair catch right away. Because you got to save every second that you can. Tampa called timeout. You know Carolina's going to try and block this thing. Aaron, did I miss? Was anyone back there to return the ball?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. I think what Shay just said, I send all 11 to block. That is a possibility, but here's the one downside of that. If the punter is able to drop that ball and keep it in bounds, the clock's going to run. I get I get the mindset though. So there's kind of it's kind of a, like, if you're going to sell out the block, you got to go all in on it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, send all 11 to try and block the thing. Makes sense. It's also where I'm telling my punter as well, if I'm Tampa Bay, no 2 steps and go, yeah, no one back to return. Yeah, send all 11. Good call on that, Shay X. Oh, Tremaine dropped back. See, that's the thing, is like, now you let clock tick. All right, 16 seconds. You have no timeouts. And you got to go at least 60 yards to get in field goal range. Also, let's keep this in mind too. Remember against Seattle at the end of the first half, ball was at midfield. I think it was literally was at the 50-yard line. Ball was at midfield. And at the end of the first half, and Dave Canales didn't call for a Hail Mary at the end of the first half. And Seattle had dropped everyone back. I remember I was sitting there in the press box. They had dropped like 3 guys back all the way to like the 10-yard line. Didn't even throw a Hail Mary. I don't think we've ever seen Bryce Young throw a Hail Mary attempt. So even if you do get the ball out there to midfield with a second on the clock, you can have time? Or can you actually get the ball into the end zone for a Hail Mary? Inbounds. He's inbounds. Got to clock it. Got to get up and clock it right away. Officials got to touch the ball. Spike right away. All right, one play. Panther gal better not run the ball, Canales. Don't be shocked. Here's actually something I would see teams like to do in these kind of situations where you know you're going to just be lateraling the ball backwards and all that kind of stuff. Replace your offensive line with all skill guys. Put all skill guys out there. I remember the Jets did that one year. Replace your offensive line with all skill guys. Because, like, why have 5 offensive linemen, guys who can't handle the ball, out there? Like, I would just put every skill guy out there that I have. Just speed and everything. That's what I do. Gosh, this is disappointing. So, yeah, Coker, lateral. See, that's the thing. You're throwing the ball back to Damian Lewis. That's, I'm not going to put the blame on Damian Lewis on that, but. All right, folks. That's a wrap. Again, tomorrow, get your lemon pepper wings. Shout out to Lou Williams. Magic City. Get your lemon pepper wings. Listen to Jeezy. Listen to Outkast. Listen to Ludacris. And fly Delta. Fly Delta, folks. Everything Atlanta. Go back, go watch Turner. Go watch TBS at some point. The Superstation. I know y'all watched the Braves. 7:05 first pitch. I know you're all back there. I know y'all remember this. But that sucks. That sucks. That was a winnable game. That was a winnable game. All right, folks. We're going to have a Panthers playbook for you all coming up here in a little bit. Dave Canales is going to talk and all that kind of stuff. Chris Lee's down there with WREL, so he's going to go in the locker room and we'll get sound and all that kind of stuff. Sad Panthers playbook. Sad Panthers playbook. You know, I thought the hat was working too. Oh, well. All right, folks. Y'all be good. Stay locked in. Subscribe if you haven't already. Shout out to our sponsor, Wake Orthopedics. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll have a podcast for you all coming out later on this evening. Leave the comments and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I'm also sorry about the rally cap as well. I'm sorry that it didn't work. Shout out to Little Brother, by the way. Support North Carolina artists. Support North Carolina music. Shout out Little Brother. Fantastic stuff. Y'all take care.